Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ashley. I am the owner of Carolina Floral Creations here in North Carolina, where I sell handmade home decor, and it is market day officially. I got everything set up. It is really windy. It's like maybe 15 miles an hour of wind, and it's supposed to rain today. um Definitely, this is my first market, so I'm hoping you actually can hear me, because like I said, it's really windy. I have my mic on, but I don't know how much of this I'm gonna vlog, just because it's my first market and it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest. But I'm really excited. Got a really nice setup here today, so I'm probably just gonna hop on here throughout the day. So this market is really close to where I live, and it is from 10 to 5 today. We got here at 8 o'clock, started setting up, and it is now 9:40, so everything is already set up. I brought mainly just kind of what y'all already seen in my past videos. I didn't really bring a lot of spring or summer, just because it was a lot, and I feel like I just wanted a little bit smaller inventory. I am going to crochet throughout the day, because I have my Christmas tree set up, and then I got this I don't know, really small Christmas tree. It's pink, so it's really cute in how I displayed it. But I might try and make some Christmas ornaments while we're just sitting here today, and add them into the store to kind of give more of a price range, only because I a lot of my things are mostly around $30. I have the wristlets, and those are $5, so that's the only cheapest thing I got, and then I got four of them. So 9:50 now, so traffic is starting to come in. I've had a couple people kind of come in my booth and just compliment everything, while I was finishing setting up. So we'll see how today goes. But it's cold. So, and windy. And anyway, so with it being windy, I wasn't able to put my sidewalls in, because my tent weights, I only have 10 for each leg, so it's 40 pounds in total. So I'm definitely, for my next market, I'm already making a list of what we need to bring, because setting everything up, everything went mostly smoothly. It's just with it being so windy, putting the sidewalls on, the tent started moving, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. All right, everyone. So it's 1:30. The parade's going on right now, so all the traffic is kind of dying out and watching that. But I haven't had any sales yet. But a lot of people have come into my booth and asking me questions, and really complimented everything that they seen. So that's really nice to have positive feedback. Even though I haven't made any sales yet, I'm just happy to be here, and it's my first market. So honestly, if it's a loss, it's a loss, and it's more of experience. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. I do know that my Christmas tree skirts, for some reason, I guess the way I have it set up is everyone thinks it's dog beds. So now, in this video, I want to kind of recap my first market. How did I do? Did I make my booth feedback? All that kind of stuff. What were the lessons that were learned? What was the positives of it? So this is what it breaks down to be. Now, let me just start off by saying I did try to vlog. I was going to vlog this first market all over, but as I got there, of course, the nerves really hit, and I did get a couple of snippets in where I wanted to kind of do updates throughout the day. But I was just so focused on the environment around me, because let me just say that as a cosmetologist for the past 12, 13 years, right? Yes. Again, that math, guys, is not my strong suit, okay? um but in that career, I've honestly worked a lot of weekends. So I don't get to go out and go do things on the weekend, like fall festivals or spring festivals, or really anything, unless I take the time off. And so I really went to this market just kind of soaking in the environment around me and the people and talking. I had family come out and support me and stop by and hang out for a bit. So, really, I didn't have a lot of time to vlog, which honestly was okay because I felt like I looked crazy and it was super, super cold. And I was just like sitting there, like shaking the entire day. So I paid $100 for the booth fee, and it was a 2-day event. I did not go to the first day because I had to work, but also too, I didn't want my first market to be a multiple day event. You could sign up for it, but you didn't have to show up on Friday, so I didn't. So I really just went to Saturday, and all in total, I made no sales. And do I feel a certain way about it? Of course I do. It depends on how you look at it. And I really want to kind of look on the positive side of things. So I did not make my fee back. Yes, I didn't. That's obviously bad when you're talking about a business and, your whole purpose is to make money. And I did not. I lost money. For my first event, I honestly had no expectations. I just wanted to make at least one sale, and I didn't. But it's okay. It is not the end of the world. It is not the end of my business. It is not going to stop me from going to more markets. There's only lessons to be learned. Before I get into the lessons that were learned or what I feel like I could do better for the next market, let me just kind of, pat myself on the back or give myself a shout out because honestly, for it to be my first market, setup went smoothly and I had kind of like a clear vision of where I wanted everything, but actually I didn't get to do like a preview. What I wanted to do before is I wanted to set everything up and like go through the motion. That way when I got to the market, I've already done it. So it wouldn't be eh, really anxious, I guess you can say. But I never got to do that. So going into it, it was just like, hey, we had this idea. We thought about it well enough, and hopefully it's going to work out. And for the most part, it really did. So my booth came out really pretty, and I really like how, my banner was, where the tables were, everything kind of came together. But with everything set up, it withheld the wind. So wind tests can be checked because it really was windy. And I mean, it was probably like 15 miles an hour with higher wind gust, and nothing went anywhere. Nothing was flying around. I didn't feel like I had to hold, like, again, the tent down. So, really, that was a really successful kind of booth setup. When the setup was done, I want to say that people were coming into my tent. So my booth was attracting customers, people were coming in, and everyone was complimenting all of my things. And they were just like, everything is beautiful. They love, like these chunky knit blankets, and they were, if I had $1 for every time someone touched it, I would have made quite a bit of money because people were like in love with the blankets. They're like, oh my God, it's so soft. Even the kids. So people were attracted to my tent. They were coming in. And that to me made me feel good because I know that my vision for my setup is on point, if that makes sense. Could I improve some things? Obviously, you can always improve things. I see all the time where people are changing their layouts, and that will be me, honestly. Like, I feel like I will continuously try to change it, but that layout worked. People were able to come in, they were able to look, it wasn't too crowded, it wasn't too much. So, but there was enough to be able to look around and really see. So, kudos to that. I was happy with that and how that turned out. So, some of the reasons why I feel like I did not make any sales or what attributed to that was number one, the weather. The weather, it was cold, it was windy. I don't know if we had some kind of tropical, I don't know what was going on, but it was just a very windy, cold. There was rain in the forecast, and the rain held off to probably around 3 o'clock, and then they kind of just shut down the event early and was like, "Hey, you can pack up and y'all can go home. Thank you for coming out, all that kind of stuff." And that's exactly what I did. And I was able to get everything inside my Jeep before the rain started. So that was great. So nothing got wet. So for my first market, truly, despite the weather being what it was a good test, and it was like a good experience to be able to not have to stress about that in the future. I've been through it. Great. And I know how my setup and my booth, did with that. Now the weather really did affect the traffic coming in, and if there's less traffic, then there's less opportunity for people to come in your booth and spend money. I do firmly believe that. My tent neighbors were so sweet, and they were checking in on me throughout the day. We were talking, chit chatting, and really kind of I told them this was my first market, so they had so much advice to give me, and I was just like soaking it all in. Because yes, I look on YouTube, I watch other people, kind of look at their experiences and trying to really prepare myself like to what I'm getting myself into. But I just feel like with chatting with somebody and being able to ask questions like in person is so much more of a learning experience. Luckily, like I am a cosmetologist, but I mostly like cut men's hair, and in the town that I live in, a lot of people have their own small businesses. So I have been able the past 2 weeks really kind of like reach out and chit chat with people on their advice. But back to the neighbor, they had been to this event before, and they said that the traffic was nowhere near what it was last year. They said the weather was definitely like affecting it. Their sales were down from last year. And as I even was like looking around, towards, the other tent neighbors and everything, I mean, they were making sales, but I didn't feel like they were making sales, 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 sales. And then I was over here making nothing. It wasn't like that. I feel like, yes, they were making some, but it wasn't like there was a line at their booth, or, and there was no one in mine. Like it was not like that at all. I got a lot of traffic coming in. So the weather truly did affect the traffic and the opportunity to make sales. The second thing was that this was a smaller town, and with that, I feel like I don't want to say my prices were too high. I don't believe that. I believe my prices are fair. And compared to other people selling the same thing, it is around the same price range. So my prices were not too high, but I didn't have a wide range of prices. And that is what contributed to me not really making sales. I firmly believe that because, my tent neighbors that were beside of me, they were like, "Yeah, we have a lot of $5 to $10 price range." And I'm like, "I have four keychains for $5." That was the lowest thing I had. So let me just say that if I had more items between the $5 and $10 price range, I would have made sales. I know it. I firmly believe it because as people were walking by, a lot of people were holding things that were between $5 and $10. My son included. My dad brought my son to come see me that day, and he was like, "I want a blow up like dog," and they were selling them for $5 to $10. That was what I was missing for my booth. I know it. So I don't want to say my prices were too high. I just didn't, again, have that big price range to where people, who didn't want to spend $70 for a wreath or $30 for a bow or a wine bottle holder or placemats or the Christmas tree skirts or the blankets, then they could have bought these smaller items. So that is what I am going to be working on adding to my shop. Honestly, I don't know what they're going to be. So the theme of my shop and my business is really handmade home decor. So what home decor items can I make for $5 to $10? Which that is going to lead me to my third thing, and that is to create something fun in my shop. I see people do this all the time where it's like, they might have mystery bags, which I think that's what I'm going to end up doing is a mystery bag for like $5. And I don't know if it'll have like a small bracelet or keychain. I don't really know yet, but drawing in that kids love that. Everyone loves like a mystery thing for like $5. So, they're getting something, they're supporting you, but they're not having to spend a lot of money and it encourages sales. So, I think I'll be incorporating that, but a lot of people add like games. So, one booth where my son got the blow up animal, the dog, she had like this water like bucket thing, and it had a bunch of like ducks in there, and underneath the ducks had like hearts and shapes. So she was like, "Yeah, if you get a heart, then you get a, you know, blow up dog for the $5, but it's $10 if you don't play the game." But really, like, she kind of was like, "Pick that duck." You know what I mean? So he got it for $5. But again, it brought the kids in, it brought sales. I saw kids walking around with them all day long, and it was from that game. So it was a little interaction that I do want to kind of incorporate that because it encourages sales. Now, going into the fourth thing, I think that I did have price tags on some of the products. Most of the products I had name tags. I had what the name was that matched into my Shopify, and I also had the price. But I don't think that was enough because let me just say that I didn't have anything on my wine bottle holders. A lot of people were like, "What is this for?" And I was like, "Oh, it's for wine bottle holders. If you gift wine bottles at Christmas or, whatever, you put them in there and it's like a small little gift too." But I didn't have that on there, so a lot of people were asking questions, and people who are looking at it, there's some people I know that didn't ask me because they don't want to ask or whatever. Um and then I will say that the Christmas tree skirts, the way I had them set up is I had the Christmas tree skirts, I had them like laid out in a circle, and I had bought like this small like pink Christmas tree from Walmart, put it down in the middle. So it was like a little mini Christmas tree with the Christmas tree skirts around it. And for some reason, I'm not even exaggerating, over 6 people were like, "Is that a dog bed?" And I'm like, "No, there's a Christmas tree in the middle of it. Like, what do you mean?" Because in my mind, I made it. I know what it was, obviously. But like also too, I see a Christmas tree and I do that. But I don't know if it was the pink Christmas tree that was throwing people off. Also, it was windy again. So, like, it was flipping the sides up. And so it made it look like it was like a circle with raised edges. So I get where everyone was coming from. But boy, if I had a sign, then, people would have known more. I don't know. Because then when they got a closer look to it, and got like further into the booth and on it, they're like, "Oh, it's a Christmas tree skirt." I'm like, "Yes." I had one lady, she was like she was like, "Maybe you should start making, like dog beds." And she was like, "Since everyone thinks it is." I was like, "Yeah, but it can also be whatever you want it to be." So it could be a dog bed if you want it to. I don't know. Or a blanket, whatever. I don't know. There's a hole in the middle and that. Anyways. So that was kind of the running joke for the day, was that were these dog beds, and they were not. So again, that just kind of boils down to having signage. That was my first market. Again, I'm not too bummed out that I didn't make any sales. It truly was a learning experience, so I'm really happy with, honestly, just the experience in itself. I was able to enjoy family, enjoy friends. Me and James were hanging out all day. We really enjoyed it. We enjoyed socializing with people coming into the tent. The tent wasn't going anywhere despite that it was windy. I, was chit-chatting with the neighbors, the tent neighbors, and they were just giving me like, "You should go here next time. You should go check out this place." And I have, and I am signing up for some of those that they were talking about. So I will be doing another market. I signed up for one. I will be hearing back from that soon. If not, I am going to like a Sunday market where they kind of do like bouncy houses, and they have like food trucks, and it's just a whole vibe on Sundays from like 1 to 5. So it's like 4 hours, which is not bad. Like the fee is $20, so, and it's like 20 minutes from my house. So I'm going to start looking into that, but I am taking this week and really just kind of brainstorming and researching smaller products that I can sell for $5 to $10 to really start incorporating it. Like I said, I did have keychains that were $5, so I'm gonna be making more of those. I'm also gonna be making like paracord bracelets, like crocheted bracelets or something that the kids will be like, oh, I want this or something like that. So um I don't know what they would be. I really don't. So I'm just taking this week kind of brainstorming. Gonna wait to hear back from those other things to let y'all know when the next market will be, but I will be going to another market. That is gonna be it for this video. I basically went over everything of, you know, yes, I didn't make any sales, but I'm not going to let that kind of define my business and define, me as a business owner. It truly was just a learning experience and I learned some lessons and I learned what I need to bring into my booth, what products I need to bring, have that price range, and that weather can truly affect, the traffic coming in, which you do lose more opportunities to make sales. If you like this video, please give it a like and then also subscribe for more small business vlogs, and I will see you on the next one.